The Trojans were looking to exact retribution after losing two straight to the Hurricanes in 78 and 79, and that is just what they did. West rolled to an easy win on its way to the playoffs for the first time. Dobie Bozeman finished with 118 yards, including touchdowns of 49 and 1 yards. Lloyd Lambert passed to Danny Hickman for 17 yards, and Joe Wallace added a 1-yard scoring run. East returned hungry in 1981 to exact some revenge. Brian Keller returned a punt 76 yards to pay dirt, and Randy Sanders ran 15 yards for the other TD. Joe Wallace scored for West on a 2-yard run that capped a 17-play touchdown drive, one of the longest in school history. The Trojans came back firing in 82. Jeff Wolf and James Wheeler had a pair of 6-pointers each for the Trojans. Sanders had a great night for East. He scored both touchdowns, passed to Toby Pearson for a 2-point conversion, and kicked another field goal. East had 168 passing yards, their second highest of the series. Pearson's 10 receptions, 107 yards, are the most ever. West takes back-to-back city championships in 1983 with a close come-from-behind 1-point victory. Jeff Morgan ran 14 yards for a touchdown, and Perry Helton kicked the deciding point after with only 1:13 seconds left. This marked the first time the team leading going into the fourth quarter had not won. East had taken a 14-0 lead on Sanders' 2-yard pass to Charles Cole and Keller's 52-yard run. Tim Smith scored the other TD for the Trojans. Sanders hit 14 of 27 passes for 154 yards. The Hurricanes stormed back and took the trophy back to the East Side in 1984. Wolf and Smith had first-quarter scores for West, but it was all East after that as the Hurricanes scored 20 in the second frame and 15 more in the third. Charles Cole scored twice on 5-yard runs, and his brother Chris intercepted a pitch-out and returned it 44 yards for another. Larry Hartman chipped in 2 touchdowns. The Hurricanes took back-to-back city titles in 1985 with a fourth-quarter comeback. Todd Henderson's 7-yard TD pass to Craig Hammer put the winning points on the board as East got its first-ever fourth-quarter victory, this one coming with 1:19 on the clock. Henderson and Hammer also teamed up on a 10-yard TD, and Henderson scored on a 1-yard sneak. West's Mikkel Bryan had scoring runs of 62 and 2 yards, and Skeeter Allen added a 4-yard TD. Trojans took back the title in 1986 with a fourth-quarter comeback. The Trojans scored 21 in the fourth period to pull out the win. Henderson scored on runs of 1, 3, and 2 yards for the Trojans in becoming the only player to quarterback both schools to a victory. Billy Hale and Jeff Kyle had the other West TDs. Scoville Scruggs, Chris Cole, and Doug Rhines all had touchdowns for the Hurricanes. Trojans take back-to-back victories in 1987. It was the Buster Goins show as he racked up 242 yards on 14 carries. He had scoring runs of 67, 1, 64, and 50 yards. Henderson added a 55-yard TD, and Chuck Profit returned the second-half kickoff 86 yards to score. Quarterback Scott Altizer hit Paul Howell with a 91-yard scoring pass and fired 12 yards to Nick Wilson for the other. The Hurricanes pull out an exciting 1-point win in 1988. Howell had a 14-yard scoring run in the first quarter and a 38-yarder in the second, with Tim Green hitting both extra points. James Littleman Stewart had a 4-yard TD for West, and Profit added a 3-yard score, but a run for 2 points was stopped short. The Trojans close out the decade avenging the 1-point loss the previous year, with the West defense holding the Hurricanes to only 6 points and negative rushing yards. James Littleman Stewart, Anthony Livesay, Lamont Young, and Howard Collins all had touchdowns for the Trojans, while East points came on a 14-yard pass from Scotty Williams to Nick Wilson. The Trojans held East to minus 19 yards rushing. The Trojans took the city championship win 6 times into the 1980s, 1980, 82, 83, 86, 87, and 89. The Hurricanes laid claim in 1981, 84, 85, and 1988. The Trojans' James Stewart went on to be one of the leading rushers at the University of Tennessee and went on to play in the NFL. Hurricanes quarterback Randy Sanders went on to play quarterback for the Vols. After his playing career, Sanders became the quarterback's coach and offensive coordinator for the University of Tennessee, Florida State, Kentucky, and the head coach at East Tennessee State, where he retired in 2021. Both schools have produced champions both on and off the field. Most have become leaders in the Lakeway area. As we get